English Shorthand Higher Grade 120 words per minute. AP Speed Papers, September 1982. Please get ready. Start. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to associate myself with you by participating in the seminar on broadcasting system in India. I am one of those millions who stand to benefit through hearing several programs broadcast over the All India Radio. I am of the opinion that broadcasting in India over the decades has been more or less confined to a straight jacket pattern. The share of rural programs, including special programs for rural women and children, does not exceed 7% of the total transmission time of the All India Radio. In addition to this, almost all the programs have a very heavy urban slant. One of the reasons for the poor spread of radio in the rural areas could be traced to its program pattern, which has been urban oriented. The broadcasting organization in a developing country has an obligation to the rural masses. It must cater to the needs of the rural population. So, the All India Radio is not justified in having urban oriented programs beyond a certain limit. There is need for rethinking on the pattern of broadcasting in India today. Judged by its importance, the broadcast time devoted to agricultural news seems quite inadequate. Most of the stations of the All India Radio have farmers' bulletin in the mornings for 5 or 10 minutes, but some of them do not seem to take into account the realities of the situation at the village level. We are not justified in devoting such a limited time to programs of interest for rural masses. As a counter to this, it is often argued that the rural people could as well listen to other general programs which are available in plenty. Out of the general programs, plays and music alone seem to interest the rural audience. Classical music, science programs, and commentaries on games and sports, etc., are all urban oriented programs. Some of the villagers may be interested in news bulletins, but news in our country is mostly urban oriented. There are no agencies for tapping news in the rural areas. Even though there is a difference of opinion on the efficacy of radio and television as media of instruction and education, it can be generally accepted that they are eminently suited for entertainment. But with the present staggered transmission schedules, the radio is not able to provide at present as much entertainment to rural people as they deserve. A rural channel with a program pattern suited to the needs of the rural people is the most urgent need of the day. Leaving aside the adults who go to work, there are millions of unemployed men and women in the villagers who will benefit by radio programs in the afternoon. A rural channel in broadcasting could take care of the aspirations and interests of the unemployed and underemployed. By introducing a rural channel, programs dealing with cottage and village industries, etc., having a bearing on village life could be fully dealt with. A rural channel could also be utilized for establishing rapport between development departments like agriculture and irrigation on the one hand and the rural people on the other, while it could be utilized for giving crop oriented information to farmers. It could also afford an opportunity for the farmers to ventilate their grievances. Marketing of agricultural produce is one of the most important problems affecting the small and medium cultivators. The radio could play a useful role by giving them exhaustive and latest information on market trends and help them get the best available price for their produce. They would go a long way to eliminate the middlemen and stabilize prices. The rural radio has a useful role to play in areas where irrigation and power supply schemes and other infrastructure facilities are taken up. Besides providing a clear background of the scheme, it could also give our people a daily progress report of the work in a particular project and keep them in readiness to receive the benefits as soon as the scheme is completed. During the last 3 decades, there has been tremendous increase in the number of radio sets and radio users in the country, but to a large extent, this growth has confined itself only to the urban population. In this connection, I would like to extend my hearty congratulations and good wishes to all the Indian scientists and technologists and their fellow scientists in the United States on the successful launching of the Indian national satellite. India entered the space age and a new era in the field of mass communication has begun. It is now possible to telecast special programs on agriculture, family welfare, and other items of general interest for the benefit of the rural masses who has been deprived of these facilities so far. The rural masses will know their country better and learn about people who live in other regions with the help of space technology that is being exploited on a large scale. Dear Sir, your kind letter of 20th ultimo was delivered in this office on 2nd instant. At that time, the gentleman who wanted to buy shares of Indian aluminium cables had withdrawn his purchase order and we had no other buyer in view. So, we did not write to you on the subject. Shares of Indian Aluminium Cables Limited are not quoted on any stock exchanges in India and consequently it is always a matter of private negotiation to buy or sell these shares. Since marketability is the most important of the 3 ingredients of an investment which is not present in the shares of Indian Aluminium Cables Limited, we cannot recommend them to any of our clients and hence we depend upon a change when somebody places a purchase order with us. Today we have received a letter from a client in which he tells us that he may be interested in buying shares of Indian Aluminium Cables Limited if they are offered at a reasonable price. If you want to sell your shares, please send us your sale order. As regards price, we feel that business may result in the vicinity of 110 rupees per share. Further, if you attach no sentimental value to these shares, we would suggest that you sell these shares if there is a buyer for them and invest the proceeds in shares which not only give very good yield but are likely to have a very big capital growth. On receipt of your letter, we will be happy to send details of such shares for which we will be glad to arrange the sale transaction. In the end, a small lot of shares of State Bank of India are available with us and if you are interested in buying these prestigious shares, please send a telegram to us. These fully paid up shares of 100 rupees each were originally issued by the bank itself for 300 rupees. We trust we are sufficiently clear and you will let us hear favorably per return of post, for which we convey our sincere thanks in advance. Yours faithfully.